Hey, welcome to the podcast. This is the Surge Effect, and I'm your host, Mike Surge. This podcast will be talking about anything and everything, life in general to current events and past events, and all things about this beautiful and wonderful world that we live in. And this podcast, well, it'll probably have an effect on you.
Well, hello once again, and welcome to another episode of the Surge Effect. Today's Surge Effect, we're going to be talking a little bit about what happened yesterday in the news cycle. Yesterday was June 22nd, which was a Thursday. Today is Friday, June 23rd. Anyway, before we get started, I'm just going to mention a couple of our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Love My Legs Owen Sound Grey Bruce. Love My Legs allows you to strut with confidence, offering 3 styles of waistbands for comfort and wearability, and the only lifetime guarantee in the industry. For more information, follow them on Facebook at Love My Legs Owen Sound Grey Bruce. Just click on the link below, takes you right to their webpage, and you can see what they are all about. Our next sponsor is He Shirts, She Shirts. Head on over to their webpage, just click on the link below, heshirtsheshirts.ca, and check out what they have to offer. They are more than just a t-shirt company. They have more to offer. All right, so let's get into the Surge Effect here. Let's get into this podcast. So the very first clip I'm going to play for you is stuff that's been basically all over the news for the last several days. Very tragic situation that happened in the Atlantic. People went down in a submersible to look at the Titanic off the east coast of Canada, and they were lost.
Titanic submersible that gripped the world's headlines met its end in what the U.S. Coast Guard called a catastrophic implosion that killed all 5 passengers aboard.
That killed all these 5
search that led to this discovery
individuals
and
off the east coast. My heart goes out to all of them. It's a terrible, terrible thing that occurred. And it just, these things, we don't know why they happen. It's very, very sad. My heart goes out to them all. Anyway, so let's dig into what happened yesterday. What happened yesterday was, if you weren't paying attention, Adam Schiff from the States. He was what's called censured down in the States. House of Representatives, they just voted to formally censure Democratic Representative Adam Schiff. He's a Democrat from California for lying to the American people. Schiff repeatedly lied to the public about having evidence that President Trump colluded with Russia. After his lies were finally exposed on the record in the Durham report, Republicans moved to discipline Schiff. Schiff is required to appear in the well of the House of Chambers after the censure vote, and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who's a Republican from California, will then deliver a formal rebuke to Schiff. So, with that being said, there was a vote on the floor, and this is what the vote was, yeas and nays. And that's how that panned out. Obviously, the yeas had it. These are some of the things that Adam Schiff did. Resolution censuring Schiff lists the following accusations. Schiff falsely accused former President Donald Trump of collusion with Russia during the 2016 election. He also abused his position as the chair of the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence of the House of Representatives. He also perpetuated false allegations accusing Trump associations of collusions with Russia. He also abused his access to classified information. He falsely denied that his staff communicated with a whistleblower during Trump's first impeachment. Schiff also read a false retelling of a phone call between President Trump and President Zelensky. And Schiff hindered the ability of the Intelligence Committee to perform their duties. Now, keep in mind, this went on with Schiff for years. 4 years that Trump was in office, Schiff did these things. So At the House of Representatives the other day, when they did their vote, I'm going to play a little bit for you to watch what occurred. But here they all here. I'll speed up a wee bit here. And as the votes, of course, trickle in, they trickle in here. And you'll see that eventually...
Does any member wish to change the vote? On this vote, the yeas are 213 and the nays are 209. With 6 answering present, the resolution adopted. Without objection, the motion to consider is laid on the table.
Now listen to the Democrats, how they carry on saying shame, shame, shame. They're trying to shame the representatives of the Republican Party and, of course, the Speaker of the House. They're trying to shame them of what they just voted on. Keep in mind the stuff I just read you about Adam Schiff and what he did. He lied for 4 years to the American people, and they shouldn't stand for it. But watch these Democrats, how they prop Adam Schiff up. It gives you an idea what they're like.
House will be in order. I'll wait.
Kevin McCarthy is trying to keep the House in order. Still trying to keep the House in order. This goes on for quite a while, but I'll speed it up as we go. Kevin McCarthy is trying to read the censure.
In order.
I smell the Democrats on the floor shouting at Kevin McCarthy, who's the Speaker of the House.
Representative Schiff present himself in the well.
They're actually applauding this guy for what he did for 4 years, which was lied to the American people. That's disgusting. Look at them, congratulating him, shaking his hand, clapping for him. Now they're shouting his name like he's some type of a hero. He lied to the American people for 4 years. That's why he's being censured. Ridiculous.
By its adoption of House Resolution 521, the House has resolved that the House of Representatives censures Adam Schiff, representative of the 30th Congressional District of California.
They just keep talking over the House Speaker.
I will begin again.
Terrible. Like a bunch of children.
By its adoption of House Resolution 521, the House has resolved that the House of Representatives censures Adam Schiff.
Actually, children are probably better behaved. Still shouting stuff.
Resolution 521, the House has resolved that the House of...
Isn't that something? American people should be watching this thinking to themselves, why are these people even voted into power?
By its adoption of House Resolution 521, the House has resolved that the House of Representatives censures Adam Schiff, representative of the 30th Congressional
And
District
rightfully so.
of California, for misleading the American public.
That's what he did.
and for conduct unbecoming of an elected member of the House of Representatives.
100%.
That Representative Adam Schiff will be forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure. That Representative Adam Schiff will be censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. And that the Committee on Ethics shall conduct an investigation into Representative Adam Schiff's falsehoods, misrepresentations, and abuse of sensitive information.
Good, just like that. And that's the way it should be. And believe it or not, Adam Schiff is running supposedly for Senate at some point from California, which is just a crying shame. It's unbelievable. So he's a congressman, now he's going to go run for the Senate, be a senator. Why people want to vote people in that do not have their best interest at heart and lie to the American people is beyond me. I'm shocked. But that's the way the political system works. Okay, that's the way it works. Okay, so next video I'm going to show you is some more information that the committee got on Hunter Biden. Some of the stuff that came out yesterday, and it's quite telling. These people that are on this committee, they're Republicans, of course, but they came with all this information from the IRS. And believe it or not, they let some of the statute of limitations, the IRS did, slide. So the DOJ, so they can't be charged with these charges from the IRS. So the DOJ let these statute of limitations kind of slide for some of these charges. So he won't be getting charged for some of these. But listen to these things that just came forward from a whistleblower. Just incredible.
Now confirm that we have credible whistleblower testimony alleging misconduct and government abuse that is resulting in preferential treatment for the president's son, Hunter Biden. Mr. Biden has been under investigation for tax crimes that include evading taxes on income from foreign sources. Only the Ways and Means Committee has the ability to report this information legally to the full House of Representatives and thereby make it known to the American public. Doing so is an important step in preventing future misconduct, encouraging other whistleblowers to come forward, and considering possible future legislative reforms. As I mentioned in my remarks before the executive session, there are 3 areas of focus in the transcripts of interviews with whistleblowers. Number 1, the federal government is not treating taxpayers equally when enforcing tax laws. Number 2, whistleblowers claim the Biden Department of Justice is intervening and overstepping when it comes to the investigation of the president's son. And number 3, these whistleblowers report they have faced almost immediate retaliation.
Well, there's a shocker.
Let me provide detail. On number 1, not 1, but 2 IRS employees are blowing the whistle with evidence that the federal government is not treating taxpayers equally when enforcing tax laws. The whistleblowers were working on an investigation into Hunter Biden that opened in November of 2018 as an offshoot of a separate corporate investigation by the IRS. Let me emphasize, this was an investigation in the ordinary course of work at the IRS. It was not ordered by any individual, any chairman, or any political entity. The testimony we released today shows the IRS recommended charges against Hunter Biden that included attempt to evade or defeat tax, a felony, fraud or false statements, a felony, and willful failure to file returns, supply information, or pay tax. These tax crimes cover an estimated $2.2 million in unreported tax on global income streams to Mr.
Keep in
Biden
mind, anyone else would be sent to
from
prison.
Ukraine, Romania, and China, totaling $17.3 million from 2014 to 2019. Mr. Biden personally received $8.3 million.
$8.3 million.
Whistleblowers detail foreign payments to Mr. Biden, including $664,000 from the Chinese company State Energy HK, a large diamond worth $80,000, and a Porsche worth $142,000. These payments are just a fraction of the total, but they provide insight into a world of wealth and influence that no ordinary American would recognize. And what plea deal did Mr. Biden just receive? A slap on the wrist for charges that have put other Americans behind bars.
Exactly.
As I said,
that's what I reported on the other day.
Is not treating all taxpayers equally. Number two, whistleblowers claim the Biden Department of Justice is intervening and overstepping when it comes to the investigation of the president's son. Despite what whistleblowers described as a clear-cut case for tax liability on these payments, IRS investigators say they found themselves hamstrung internally. The testimony we have just released details a lack of U.S. attorney independence, recurring unjustified delays, unusual actions outside the normal course of any investigation, a lack of transparency across the investigation and prosecution teams, and bullying and threats from the defense counsel. This was a campaign of delay, divulge, and deny. Whistleblowers say reoccurring unjustified delays pervaded the investigation, including an authenticating a WhatsApp message in which Hunter Biden demands payment from Chinese officials, noting that his father is in the room.
Wow.
The whistleblowers revealed IRS investigators were told by U.S. Attorney Leslie Wolf that because the evidence would be found in the guest house of former Vice President Biden, quote, there is no way, close quote, a search warrant for evidence would ever get approved. IRS whistleblowers told this committee that crucial information about the investigation was divulged to Hunter Biden's attorneys. For example, even investigators had probable cause to search a Northern Virginia storage unit in which Hunter Biden had stored files. Attorneys for Biden were made aware prior to any search, providing them valuable time to remove any materials that could be useful evidence. Few Americans qualify for such soft glove treatment from federal investigators.
So this goes on for a little while, and about another 4 minutes or so. You can find this clip. You can find it on online. Just go to YouTube and type in about Hunter Biden taxes again. You'll come across it. But just goes to show you about the two-tiered system that I talked about the other day. Is there's one for the haves and one for the have-nots. It's like rules for me, but not for thee. That's two different rules. That's going on down the states big time, because Lady Justice is supposed to be blind, like I've said before, right? Equal. Supposed to be equal on both sides. If you're guilty, fine, and have at her. But don't protect some people and then throw the book at others. It's not supposed to work that way. Anyway, with that being said, that is the end of this podcast. And I would just like to thank everyone who has subscribed to the Surge Effect so far. And please feel free to subscribe and like and share any of the videos that you see on my channel. It's much appreciated. I can also be found on Rumble. All the videos I post to YouTube automatically get uploaded to rumble.com. So just go to rumble.com, type in The Surge Affect, and you will see my TSA with my microphone. You can also find me on any Android or Apple application on your phones. Just have to go to your podcast app, type in under the search bar The Surge Affect, and once again you will see my TSA with my microphone in the picture there. So, like I said, I can be found on all those apps. I can be found on Spotify, pretty much anywhere. Once again, thanks very much for logging in and checking me out. Much appreciated. Hopefully keep you a bit informed on what's going on in the world. I try to stay on top of things as best I can. And until next time, have yourself a great day. and cheers.
This episode sponsored by He Shirts, She Shirts. Go to www.heshirtssheshirts.ca. Just type in the letters TSA, The Surge Effect. When you check out, type in TSA for your coupon and receive 10% off your next purchase. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, everybody.